Folks, the MacBook Neo has been out now for about 2 days. I've been using it as a daily driver. Wanted to give my extended impressions of this device, Neo being one, and I think this is the one. Literally play on with the Matrix. Obviously, what you can see here, the screen, the colors, etc. So if you're not familiar with this device, if you've been kind of out of the loop, Apple has released some really cool marketing material lately, even making their own Instagram page. But what I'm showcasing here is kind of the highlights from their video and what I think you should know as a viewer. The trackpad is all white on either device and doesn't actually have backlight. Sorry, I misspoke there. The keyboard and the trackpad doesn't have haptic like on the Air and MacBook Pro. Additionally, one version at $599 doesn't come with Touch ID, but you could upgrade for an additional $100. There's no MagSafe, but the two USB-C ports are actually different. One is USB 2.0, one is 3.0. If you plugged it into a smaller one, they will warn you about that. And lastly, it is an A18 Pro, which is the iPhone 16 Pro from last year. That's the chip. But from my internal testing over 2 days, have gotten used to it. I will say I've always come from like 120 hertz screens, ProMotion, gamer, stuff of that nature. I think it's okay to be back on 60 hertz, but sometimes there is a preference. I do think things seem smoother on 120 hertz. But yeah, $599 from Apple. You can check this out on their official YouTube channel. It's some clean marketing. But going to the actual website, you'll see here they also continue that marketing thread and stuff of that nature. The four colors you could get. I ended up getting citrus, which I had a debate with the Apple user if it's yellow or green. On their device, or sorry, on the website, they actually compare the devices to the next pricing step ladder, which is the MacBook Air. That comes at $1099, so a $400 gap. Both devices you'll see here with a $100 difference. Basically, the only difference is double the SSD. They both only come with 8 gigabytes RAM, and the $100 more gets you a Touch ID. There's no way to actually upgrade the gigabytes in space. So from a screen perspective, I'm in Minnesota right now. There's a lot of backlight with a frozen lake. I noticed that compared to the M5 Pro that I'm testing, the nits kind of, it's hard to see the screen. You can obviously see the reflection of me recording, but the version I have, just to repeat, is the $599 base version, the cheapest one you could get. No configuration to upgrade as the RAM, and no difference in the chips. So basically, no Touch ID. I've actually gotten used to it since my years of testing on MacBook Air or MacBook Pros that have Touch ID. It's been almost a non-factor to type in my short password. So I think it has pretty good speakers. I've been listening to YouTube, and from a heat perspective, I'm an amateur YouTuber. I don't really kind of look at fans and stuff of that nature. This one doesn't have fans, but I didn't notice any heat using it. Now let's hear a word from our sponsors. Hey folks, so this is what the QuickTime Teams recording looks like. So this is the camera. Right now I'm using QuickTime to record, and then it has this portrait feature, which I can turn on and off that you can see. Studio light effects, edge light, which appears in dark time, which would make things happen. And then the microphone is actually using voice isolation, which you could set in the settings. This is voice standard. So just for context, this is the microphone that comes with the Neo. I obviously, if you followed my channel, realize you guys should know I have a kid. Grandma's watching him, but there should be noises there. And now with voice isolation, still having a kid in the background, just so for context, if you maybe working in a coffee shop or in the same situation as me. And what I wanted to showcase is actually now going to a sponsored type post, which is my own app that I've been building. So I've been watching my wife plan trips. We're going to Italy. We're going to Salt Lake, a bunch of stuff happening. My wife's planning a girls trip, and they're actually using my app that I built, all based on what I've seen as kind of, in my opinion, there could be a streamlined way to do this. So what I'm showcasing here is Cursor and Docker showcasing the build time. So pleasantly surprised how build times are, even though the SSD speeds are slow, and just kind of showcasing what trip sync is. Sorry, you can, if the voice isolation isn't working, but basically it's a way to kind of get out of Google Sheets, Google Docs. Competing with Splitwise is a free way to do trips and share everything. Basically also incorporating chat and Slack to make tasks off chats, because a lot of times in Messenger, I've been in some of these group chats, there's a lot to get in. People say like, oh, should we book, do all this stuff? just right click the chat, add the task. So that's some of the stuff I'm doing. I'll leave a link below. You can click to see it in action, which loads demo. This is all in prod. Obviously right now this is running local, but there's a website you can put. Bugs I gotta fix. What is this scroll issue? But basically, yeah, that's Trip Sync. I got another one, Party Times. I'll also leave a link. Another app I've developed for my son's birthday, and now trying to just push. Yeah, and then obviously I have affiliate links that people say is sometimes sponsored, but it's really just affiliate links. But anyways, let's get back to more tests and stuff of that nature. So the rest of this video is basically my discussion on gaming, and then I show the raw gameplay at the end of this video with no commentary. So I was pleasantly surprised. I've made previous videos on League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Dota, and now I'm just finishing out kind of some of the native games. There was a Reddit post about Rosetta games not working. I'm not exactly sure why people said that. Obviously here I'm showcasing Tombstone running the benchmarks, and I even played the game, which you can see the raw gameplay footage later. Seems pretty good. Obviously people talk about, benchmarks different from gaming, but here we'll see that at least from the benchmark perspective, it does pretty well at around 60 frames per second. I have to zoom in here, obviously. 50 frames per second average, and then when actually trying the game, the settings that were on were the default settings that was configured, which was basically all high. I'm not sure if it auto sets that, but kind of getting into the game, and of course you can see me in the screen. I thought that in this particular beginning scene, I thought I had played this game before, but I guess maybe the cloud save didn't work. It looks like, unfortunately, in this iPhone recording, this is my first time seeing it doing a voiceover. There's some with the glare, the focus might be on me instead of the game. A little unfortunate, but yeah, we're seeing on the screen 54, 55 frames per second. I thought this game was, in my opinion, 100% playable. And some of the Bluetooth stuff that I've had challenges before in my other videos, I'm using the same mouse. It seems pretty fine on this device. Next up is No Man's Sky that I tested out. Again, I didn't change any of the settings when it first started, so that was the frame rate, and then I literally changed it here to standard just to see how it would do when playing. There are some people who are okay with 30 frames per second gaming. You can see here, this is kind of the resolution and setting I got was the default. And then you can see that the DLSS settings was auto set on, at least for my configuration. In the extended play, it kind of rounds out to getting around like 20 to 30 frames per second, if I remember correctly. You can check it out in the end of this video. So there is the thing that people say with sustained performance throttling. In my opinion, coming from a Windows laptop, Windows and desktop gaming, when I hear throttling, to me, having experienced it on older gaming laptops, I think like frame drops, stuttering, 5 FPS. But in my opinion, it's just lower frames per second, but still kind of stable from what I've tested over the years with Mac gaming. Now, here what I wanted to showcase is that the SSD is actually slower than the M1 MacBook Air, and in my previous videos, I theorized, commented on slowdown, stuff of that nature. Just something to consider. One person made a YouTube comment saying, hey, maybe plug in an external fast SSD, which might help with game performance. There's a guy who's way more popular than me, Andrew Tsai, and from what I know from his videos, I was watching a little bit of his YouTube streams. He live streams. I believe that all of his tests are through an external SSD, so keep that in mind if you're watching a lot of reviewers, and you probably will watch his channel. He's got like 100,000 subs and stuff of that nature. But basically, I think some of the performance could get enhanced with an SSD. So I particularly think that he's using that to kind of showcase the game. For me, I talked about it in Cyberpunk in the testing. Like, I couldn't QuickTime record. The game was like kind of choppy. I also have noticed various slowdowns when testing the microphone. Sorry, testing the SSD. And what that means particularly is like, so from my perspective as a YouTuber, I download games, I run QuickTime, stuff of that nature, and I think that taxes the SSD. Most people, obviously when you're downloading a game, you'll be like, oh, there, of course, it's slow down because I'm downloading a game. But for example, here I have 100 megabytes per second downloading, and there's like significant slowdown, or I mean not significant, but like from a gamer perspective, you notice slowdown. So that's kind of my take on the device. Definitely comfortable. Here I'm just gonna, the rest of this video will just be the raw gameplay and me playing. I was able to record audio directly from the device, which hopefully doesn't tax too much of the frames per second you saw. Typically my approach has been using QuickTime to record the video as well, but here I'm just recording the audio because of the loud environment. Anyways, all this to say, I think this device is great. I'm actually considering keeping it. Just, it sounds weird, but like even when traveling, I like kind of having a work thing, and then if I want to like walk around, lounge about, you know, the Neo helps. I'm trying to get my wife on it, but anyways, I think it's a great device, and I think people should check it out. So hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you have any particular games you want me to test. Obviously I'm in the 14-day window if I do decide to keep this. And then yeah, I'll be back to making some M5 Pro content that I made yesterday. I appreciate you guys all watching that. That was actually kind of getting a lot of views. So take care everyone. Love y'all. Peace.
Oh God, no, no. What is this place? Oh, a torch. We must have oh, damn it.
I can't. Hi there. grant me strength. Charon's shop. King's defeat.
I see the judgment of the
Why, good to see. Well, this is awkward.